Alright. The Disaster Artist. I don't know who The Disaster Artist was directed by, so we're gonna pull out my handy dandy device and find out. Oh, James Franco directed it. So, The Disaster Artist was directed by James Franco, and it is a movie about the cult hit classic, The Room. It's an adaptation of a book that was written by Greg Sestero, who was a good friend of Tommy Wiseau in the making of, again, his cult hit classic, The Room. How would you describe The Room? It's kind of like a comedy, but it's also like
drama.
It's a drama at the same time. I think The Disaster Artist is very interesting because it kind of encapsulates this weird feeling of The Room, where The Room is also a drama, but there's so many weird parts about it that it's also a comedy. And I like that about The Disaster Artist because it's not just about the making of the movie, but about the people behind the making of that movie. You really get to see the emotional side behind why this movie was made. I didn't expect to really like the character of Greg Sestero the way that I did going into the movie, but I really liked that character going out because he was far more nuanced than I had originally anticipated.
Because it's a real Hollywood movie.
No, yeah.
At the end of the film, it tries to show us that it's kind of a documentary, but it breaks the conventions of a documentary by never really breaking any walls or the fourth wall to really tell us what's going on, more so just presenting us the information, you know, like a regular fucking movie. One of the most interesting aspects of The Disaster Artist is how it recreates shot-for-shot scene in The Room. There are very famous scenes, you know, where Tommy walks out. It's like, it's bullshit, you know, I did not hit her. You know, they recreate that like in the camera direction. I don't want to spoil it, but there's kind of an after credits deal with The Disaster Artist that I think is definitely worth staying for, especially if you've seen The Room, or at least bits and pieces of The Room. You'll be very happy about these. The Disaster Artist touches on plot details of The Room. There are always these weird facets of the movie where a character claims they have breast cancer. This is never brought up again. They reference that in The Disaster Artist, and I like that they kind of poke fun of, like, hey, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. I guess in that sense it does break the fourth wall a bit in terms of a documentary genre, but it plays to that convention and it knows what it's doing, and I like that about The Disaster Artist. There is a really touching scene in The Disaster Artist that I love and makes me think about how the conventions of a documentary and adaptations are played with by having techniques of screenwriting put in, where there are these elements in the script that keep coming back at certain acts in the movie, such as with James Dean and The Rebel Without a Cause. You know, that really played to the theme of the movie The Room and how it's just become this cult hit that people love to make fun of and love to watch the movie and see how ridiculous it is. And it plays to the story of Tommy Wiseau because people kept telling him, hey, you'll never make it, this is ridiculous, you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of people told the same to very famous movie stars, and I love that this is an aspect of the film. If there's anything that Hollywood likes, it's movies about movies. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it a rating of a James Franco playing Tommy Wiseau out of 10. This has been J.R. Stevens. I have long hair, and I like movies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.